In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the C3 Friday Free-For-All, the show for Panther fans, by Panther fans, where you get an opportunity to join this show and be a part of the fun, be a part of the action. The link is in the description to the YouTube video, to the Facebook video, and real quick here, I'll post it in the description for all those who would like to participate. But yeah, man, without further ado, man, we are post-draft. The Panthers have officially selected their 2022 draft class, and I want to hear y'all's opinion, man. And you know we're going to do it with our Friday Free-For-All faithful. First up, from up north, hailing from Massachusetts, my man Nick Montero. What's up, brother?
What's up, buddy? Guess who's back? It's been a long 2 weeks, man. Vacation was, well, a vacation. I'll leave it at that. Things lit on fire that probably shouldn't have. But, hey, we finally built that wall. We did it.
We did, man. We did. The Panthers have upgraded their offensive line drastically from last season, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Next up, my man Kenneth Panther Pickle. What's up, brother?
Hey guys, after a week of studying and looking up our draft picks, I like all our draft picks. Even the one I criticized the other day, the 7th round pick, and it's not him, it was just other positions. But anyway, I like all of them, and I especially love the 2 offensive linemen. I think that's going to go a long way. But we all need to encourage each other, and if you just can't think of anything good to say, make it up.
Yeah, fake it until you make it, right? Yeah, fake it until you make it, man. I mean, look, right. I think right now is a fantastic time to have optimism in these Carolina Panthers. Mm-hmm. But, you know, what do I know, man? That's what this show is for, man, for y'all to tell me what to think about this football team. Next, the man, the myth, the legend, 89 J Stubbs. J Stubbs, what's up, brother?
What's up to all the Friday freaks out there?
Oh, shit.
It was a nice and wet, stormy day in Charlotte, but I hope everybody's doing well. Cody, I want to say something. I called in on the cat calls, and for whatever reason, you know, maybe medicinal purposes or maybe just, you know, lazy. I kept saying Evan Neal instead of Ikem Ekwonu, but I want to reiterate. I just think that we, like, with that RPO and that left tackle and Christian and Foreman and Chuba, man, we can run it down their throats this year.
Oh, yeah, man. Dude, I love what it looks like the Panthers are doing. I think we've got a monster in Ikem Ekwonu. We've got a full show, man. Lots of opinions to be had. And y'all know me. I got that question about where Ikem Ekwonu is actually going to play for us. That'll be a good conversation to have. Next up, my man, Drew. He joined us for the first ever Saturday sit-in when we live reacted to the draft. Bro, what's up, man? How are you?
What's going on, fellas? Doing good. Post-draft, actually feeling very optimistic about these Carolina Panthers. Scott Fitter has laid the foundation for Matt Rhule. Let's see if he can do something with it.
He certainly has, man. Scott Fitter has done one hell of a job, man, especially only in his second year as a general manager. That's pretty big time. Yeah. And then next up, last but certainly not least, the supreme one himself, Mike. What's up, brother?
What's going on? Hey, I just got back from Cali. I took a new job out there laying tile for a guy out there, and he said I couldn't do it well, so I came back.
Damn.
I asked him what he did. He said he plays quarterback for the Panthers.
Oh, snap, bro. Damn, it's like that, I guess.
I knew something was up as soon as you started with I knew something was up.
Yeah, I was about to say, is his name Pat Elflin, and does he play left guard for the Carolina Panthers?
It wasn't.
But yeah, man, yeah, dude, I'm happy everybody's joining us. like my man Nick says, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Let's just jump into it, boys. So look, without further ado, I haven't gotten everyone's opinion. Let's go around the horn real fast. Let's recap the draft as a whole and just tell me some of your thoughts, and then we'll kind of delve into it bit by bit. Drew, let's start with you, man. You joined me on that Saturday show. You reacted to the whole draft. What do you think about the Panthers and their roster as it is? Did the Panthers have a good draft like most publications say that we did? And how are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling pretty good. And as I said, feeling pretty optimistic. These drafts, nobody will really know until 3 years down the line if it was actually a really good draft. But Scott Fitterer did a very good job manipulating the board, not being overzealous and trading into the second round. He watched the board and picked his spots when to jump in. He got his quarterback. He got his offensive lineman, actually 2 offensive linemen. So, he picked up a lot of speed, really picked up a lot of speed because he's got some athletes. So, it's really, as I said, up to Matt Rhule and the coaches if they can develop these guys because they are developmental talents. And so if Matt Rhule and his coaching staff can coach them up, then we've got some real gems. If not, in 3 years, we'll say this was a busted draft.
Yeah, and listen, that's the question I want to ask is, do you all have faith that this coaching staff can actually turn around these players? Because I think something that is kind of a through line through this entire draft, a lot of them are physically freaky prospects, right? Incredible 40 times, high RAS scores, a lot of untapped potential in a lot of these players. Even Ikem Ekwonu is going to need some a fresh coat of polish in his pass protection. So with that said, my question to everyone, and I'll start with Drew and then pass it on, do you have faith in this coaching staff to actually teach these guys up and actually prepare them to be the best player that they can be?
I have faith in the position coaches because, as we've seen, they've done it. James Campton, look what he did in Green Bay with those mid-round offensive linemen. He developed them into Pro Bowlers. So we'll see what the quarterback coach can do with Matt Corral, Ben McAdoo. I'm just hoping that Matt Rhule doesn't screw it up. I really do. I just really hope Matt Rhule doesn't screw it up. I think these guys know what they're doing. Steve Wilkes, we've had Wilkes here before. We've seen the type of work that he does with Thieves Avenue. Let's see, can he get these guys on track? We shall see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. That's one of the biggest questions in my mind concerning this football team right now. Nick, let's go to you, man. What did you think about this draft, just overall from top to bottom? And then do you have faith in this coaching staff to be able to get the most out of these players?
Kind of a long-winded answer. Overall, great. I give it a B+. I am all for the idea. I'm all for how they did it, at least in the first 3 rounds. I'm all for getting Ickey at 6. That was or one of the right picks. There was a few picks that but that was probably the best one. Right. I'm all for getting to the 3rd round at the price that we paid. Our 4th round this year and our 3rd next year for who had was one of the highest rated draft. So I'm all for that. Personally, I would have rather us traded up a little high leak, but that is, I think at that point we're kind of splitting hairs. We don't know how everything's going to play out long term. And then as far as the rest of it, I'm very okay with how everything played out with the few draft picks that we had. We did smoke Monday, which sucks. There's some other guys that we could have gotten that may have been a better fit for us than the guys that we picked up. But at the same time, I'm upset with the guys that we got, But we do have one glaring hole that's still left, and that's the linebacker. So we got to fill that role in order for this offseason to be an A, in my opinion. But B+ for the so far, we're at, we'll say, an A- for the entire offseason, in my opinion. So
okay. And that's a reasonable score. By the way, your microphone's still kind of lagging out on you. I got everything you said though. I did hear you. It might be your camera. I'm not sure. But hey, real quick, let me welcome a young Connor to the stream. Connor, what's up, bro?
Yo, boys, what's up?
What's up, man? You're just in time.
Yep.
Yeah, man. So look, right now we're going around getting everyone's opinion on the draft. Let me go to Mike. Yeah, let me go to Mike real quick. We'll bounce around. I'll make sure everybody gets heard. So, Mike, what was your opinion of the draft? And the second part to that question, how much faith did you have in our coaches to actually teach up these players and get the most out of them?
Now, if you asked me last year how much faith I had, I would say next to zero. But I think with all the veteran leadership that he's surrounding himself with this season, I think it can work out. And as far as the draft, it's like we should call this man Scott Thanos now, okay? Because he's getting all the Infinity Stones together and he's trying to do his thing the best he can. And it was a steal, I think, especially for Corral. I see a lot of people were upset. Not a lot, but some were upset. But a third rounder next year is like a fourth rounder this year. The draft was so deep, that third rounder, F them picks. F them picks.
F them picks, man. And yeah, so do you trust our coaches enough? Because like we've all been very critical of our coaching staff, but also there's a lot of unknowns too. James Campen is new. We're gonna have Ben McAdoo calling plays. That's a brand new element to it. So, Mike, did you think our coaches can actually like pull this off though, even with all the new faces?
I think they can. They've got they've been there before, and they've been doing it a long time. A lot of old guys now on our team. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm an old guy too, so. But they've been doing it, so I think they can put those young guys to work. We got a lot of young talent, so we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, man, tons of young talent. Like I said to start the show, tons of physical, elite prospects that the Panthers drafted. Man, all up and down from Ekwonu to Matt Corral. In a lot of the senses, is very athletic. Brandon Smith, 6'4", 240 pounds. The Panthers definitely got a lot of talent. Let's go to my man Kenneth, Panther Pickle. 2-part question. How you feeling about the draft overall? Any major thoughts and feelings about it? And then that second part, do you trust our coaches with this squad to teach them up and give them that fresh coat of paint that they're in need of?
Well,
Cute pup, by the way.
Yep, that's my baby. It's thundering outside where I live at, and thunderstorms, and he don't much like that. But I liked this draft quite a bit. I'm really impressed with with just a lot of things. We got Matt Corral in the third round. I'm really impressed by that. We didn't concentrate. I don't think we concentrated on any one area, but yet we filled a bunch of areas. We know we needed help at offensive line. We walked away with 2 offensive linemen. Cade Mays, we got in the 6th round. If you listen to Scott Fitterer, they actually had him graded in the 4th round. So that's quite a bit of that's good for us. A lot of people really like him quite a bit. I think that I've been reading. I overall liked it. We got a lot of speed. I'm going to agree with Nick. I really wanted a top middle linebacker somewhere. We did get Brandon Smith. I don't think he plays inside. I think he plays more of an outside role. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up putting Shaq on the inside. Don't know that I'd like that, but I think that's what they may end up doing. But overall, I like this draft. But I do like the coach. I think I have more faith in the coaches now. I believe I believe a lot of the. I think some handcuffs were let off. We got new coaches, different coaches. To try to be optimistic, I really wonder if Matt Rhule learned himself that his way ain't working. So you might as well see what everybody else can do.
Yeah.
So
And like I said, I hope that us bringing in some older
Yeah.
coaches that have some experience.
Right.
That listen, from all of the talk, James Campen is one of the best offensive line coaches that players have ever worked with. They all speak just tremendously highly of this guy. Connor, the storm is messing with his internet. He'll be back with us soon. Let's go to Jay Stubbs. Jay Stubbs, I know you're not shy to give your opinion, man. So let me know what you're thinking, dude. What do you think about the draft as a whole? And any players you loved, whatever. And then, do you trust these coaches with the players that we have?
Okay, a couple things.
Yep.
One, I gave the draft a B minus, maybe C plus. I mean, I'm gonna say B minus just because in my opinion, we did get the best left tackle. We did get a guy, even if he can't pass protect. I think he can, but even if he can't, it's like Cody, you broke him down. It's minor polishing to get this dude to be an all-pro left tackle. On top of that, we got Matt Corral, which was a lot of people's number 1 or number 2, right? Quarterback. I know it was a weak quarterback draft, but they say that shit all the time. And let's be real, like half the time, a couple of them guys work out. I mean, I'm not saying Davis Mills is going to be moving the needle, but look at they got him last year, and they were able to build off that. The rest of the guys, like I said, I can't give it I mean, I guess B minus is a good grade. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just like Kenneth said, that some of them guys at the end of the draft, man, they might not ever see the field, but they are athletic. Special teams should be a monster this year. I mean, we got them guys who could play gunner 4-3 and get down the field, make tackles. Like the corner we got, isn't he like a speedster that is huge, that can make tackles?
He runs a 4.36. I believe he's just over 6 foot,
and he plays corner, so he should be able to tackle. So I think special teams are going to be, which was awful last year. And as far as the coaches, do I trust Matt Rhule? No, but I think Matt Rhule is going to have I said it during the season, man. It's like he has no specialty. Like as much as we got tired of Ron Rivera at the end of the year, at least we knew when shit hit the fan, he could pick up the defensive play sheet and call plays. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But as far as the people he hired, the veteran players, I mean, the veteran coaches, I should say, like I think it's gonna be great for this young team to get all these veteran coaches and teach them up, because I didn't feel comfortable the past couple of years with all of them young ass coaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And as far as the draft is concerned, by the way, they said Kalen Barnes ran a 4.23. So yeah, my man's fast. I mean, he's an absolute burner. But you mentioned like a C, B minus, C plus around the draft. Did you feel like we just didn't get enough players with enough acumen? What was your criticism of the draft itself?
My criticism is Scott Fitterer was like, we feel CJ's the 3rd round pick, and it's like, well, if we're using that logic, then Sam Darnold was our 2nd pick. You know what I mean? So
right.
The point I'm trying to make is I just don't know if sometimes we fall in love with these guys, and I will say that like the Matt Rhule drafts, even though we haven't really got, like when Marty Hurney was here, we got C-Mac, Cam. Oh, sorry, C-Mac was Gettleman, but we got Cam, Luke. Through the years, all these wasn't I'm pretty sure Marty was there with Peppers, right? Or no?
What player?
Peppers and Smith. That was all Marty too, right? If I remember correctly.
That was Hurney.
So although we haven't had the Hall of Fame talent through Matt Rhule and the new regime, I feel like rounds 2, 3, and 4, which we used to never hit, I feel like we're getting quality players to fill roles. And it seems like the Marty Hurney was like, yeah, he was good at picking top 15 every year, but in the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th, I mean, every now and then we got a couple guys, but it seems like for a 7th year stretch there, it was like, man, we're getting like your boy that we traded last year to Miami, Greg Little. We got, all these guys who just, it seems like we're getting Jeremy Chin in the 2nd. We're getting Brady Christensen's coming in, and he's, putting in work, and you're seeing the young guys that actually have potential, and you never see that with the previous regime. It's just been the blue chip player comes, balls out, and then the rest of the draft was ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think this comment by Off Grid is actually a good assessment. He says the only reason we don't get an A or a higher grade is because we have so many developmental players, and that's why I posed that question, right? Because we know that all these guys that the Panthers drafted have a ton of physical upside, but do we trust the coaches to get the most out of these players? I think that's a good question. Joining the stream now from enemy territory down there in Louisiana. I don't know if he's still there now, but my man Chad, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
I like the enemy territory comment. I love it. Every single time I join, it makes me laugh. It is a shithole down here. Cody, you remember that tweet that you quoted about if Matt Corral leads this team to a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
You do? Okay. All right. So guys, I tweeted out that if Matt Corral wins us a Super Bowl, because I'm a huge Matt Corral fan, I'm gonna get him tattooed on me with the Lombardi holding hoisting the Lombardi. Right, but I gotta make sure it's okay. So I need to ask this young lady, are you okay if I get a Matt Corral tattoo holding
she's on the spot. No pressure.
Sure.
I don't like the hesitation.
She definitely
yeah, but what you gonna give her?
She definitely isn't a fan of it because I'm a diehard Boston Red Sox fan. I've got their logo tattooed on me. So if I come home and a Matt Corral tattoo is on me, she'll probably lose her shit. But
Hey man, dude, if it means that we won a Super Bowl, hey, maybe it'll be worth a week in the doghouse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've been following this team for almost 20 years, and I think the 2023 season will be the 20 years that I've been a Panther fan, and just all we've come so close twice. Right. And winning a Super Bowl, I want to experience that as a Panther fan. I want to see what a Lombardi looks like, when we're center stage, and that's something that I've always wanted to witness. So Matt Corral does it, man. That's something.
Yeah, man, dude. So then let me pivot to this. Okay, so we know you like Matt Corral, but do you trust these coaches? Because all of our players outside of Ikem, I mean, even Ikem, like, he has some stuff that he has to work on, but that's as day one ready as I think you can get. But we'll get to that. We'll get to Ikem in a minute because we're going to go deeper on him. But, Chad, do you trust these coaches with all these developmental players that have the high upside, but not necessarily all the refinement that has led to the production over their college career?
I think that when Matt Rhule came in, he had Teddy Bridgewater, and that everyone wanted him out. And then he goes after Sam, and Sam showed flashes. We can't deny that. He showed some flashes in the first couple games of last season. Yeah. As far as trusting them, no, not at the moment. But if he does have. This team looks completely different, and I feel more enthused about this team than I did last year. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I trust Matt Rhule yet, but I think that with the team that he has, I think his job security is safe if he can win 9 games.
Okay.
I don't know. It just depends because, Matt Rhule is a very rah-rah guy. He's very rally the troops, I guess, from what a lot of people say. He's not an offensive mind. He's not a defensive mind. He's a motivator. Well, Matt Corral is also a big motivator. So I don't know, man. Yeah. having both of those guys in the room, I mean, that might be infectious. Sam Darnold is the Panther Nation podcast had, a show, I think it was Monday, and they were talking about how Sam Darnold's he's not a dog. He's not even a poodle. And it's true. He's just kind of there. Sam just, there's nothing to get excited over.
He doesn't have that warrior mentality.
No.
I remember watching an NFL Films thing, and one of the Bills player was talking about Josh Allen and how before one of the games, Josh Allen said, "Today we choose violence," and that got the team so amped up, like they wanted to go and run through a wall. And some guys have that or they don't. But my thing is, even when Sam has opportunities to make a throw, he gets those happy feet, starts dancing around, and just throws the dumbest ball up in the air for grabs. It's so dumb to me. It's going to be a very interesting quarterback competition this year to see if Matt Corral can actually push him. Because our coaches have put it forth to everyone. They want to sit him. They want Sam to be the starter this year, so that way they're not rushing him into action. I think what we're all afraid of is that we might be forced into seeing Matt Corral maybe even a little before he's ready to play if Sam's not able to cut it.
And Cody, to your point with that is like what y'all were saying is like dogs and this and that, and people think that's like just a figure of speech, but look at all of our teams of the past. When we had Jake, like the team becomes what the leader is. Like Jake was a dog. He could be inconsistent. That's why we were inconsistent. Cam Newton was an alpha. Like there's no doubt about it. Like the team formed to him. And then we got Sam. And you said earlier he's not even a dog. It's like that dude needs to be coddled like a Tamagotchi. I don't know if y'all remember those where you gotta clean their shit up and feed them. And it's like it is awful.
Who was it that said it last season that they didn't want to embarrass Sam? Was it
that was Matt Rhule when he benched Sam Darnold, and he didn't want to bench him, but he had to because he didn't want to kill his confidence.
Yeah, no, that's some coddle ass bullshit. Like we're getting a guy 100%. We're getting a guy from an SEC team that is, coached very well at Ole Miss. SEC, I'm a big SEC guy, and he's played in some environments. I mean, we've seen footage of him getting in faces, and he reminds me, and I'm sure I think y'all mentioned him, but he reminds me a lot of Jake Delhomme. He's just in your face, smash mouth. He will run you over. He might not be able to do that in the NFL, but alluding to what Scott Fitterer has said, but I think that if Matt Corral wins the starting job, I think that is exactly what this team needs. They need a true leader, and Teddy wasn't really a leader, I guess you could say. We just haven't had a dog since Ace Boogie, and he came back, and Cam, love him to death. But I mean, he's in his decline. He's not in his prime anymore. He's in his decline, and I hate to say it, but we definitely need somebody that can, when he walks in a room, the attention is on him, and that's the most important position in sport. And in sports is the quarterback. So,
it definitely is, man. Like, I think I'm interested to know whether or not we have a legit franchise quarterback, man. I love everything about him. Like Off Grid says, I love his fire. I love the passion that he plays with. And I said this on Tuesday night show, but guys, he literally has everything you want from the quarterback position, but he has a chip on his shoulder now. He didn't go first round. He isn't 6'4", 240 pounds.
Reminds me a lot of Steve Smith.
I mean, dude, this dude came from an RPO offense, and, they didn't ask him to do a ton of NFL stuff, even though coincidentally the NFL is doing more RPO stuff than ever before. But I think that he works with Ben McAdoo. Dude, he's got the tattoos. He's not clean cut. He has a history. He has a background. and he's a team guy, man. The guys love him. They want to play for him. That was one of the things they doubled down on. Go ahead, Chad.
One thing that I absolutely love about Matt Corral is, I forgot, was it Adam Schefter, mentioning something about how, he's opened up about how he's dealt with depression. And a lot of people take that as like, oh shit, we got a alcoholic, depressed quarterback that, has a past. Man, it's important.
Yeah, I think it was Rappaport that said that.
Yeah, it's important to be open about shit like that because you build relationships. Yeah. People go through shit every single day. And in order to relate to teammates or people, you have to be open about what you have experienced in life. Hell, I've been through a lot of shit too. We all have. And I'm an open book, and I'm not afraid to explain what I've been through and what I've had to deal with and all that. And I love that Matt Corral is like that. Because that's how you rally behind somebody. Yeah. I mean, look at when he got hurt in the Sugar Bowl against Baylor. Look at how the fans reacted to him coming out on crutches. Look at how the team reacted to him coming out. I mean, that is a warrior type mentality, and I love it. Matt Corral, like I went nuts. Like you could have walked in my house when the pick was made about Matt Corral. You would have thought that we would have won the Super Bowl. I went nuts.
Nice.
Hey, Cody.
Yeah.
And another thing, too, that we have a conversation is Scott Fitterer straight up said the reason why we took Matt Corral was because of Ben McAdoo, right? I mean, that's what he said. So
yes, man.
If Ben McAdoo, I'm telling you right now, if this Matt Corral thing works out, don't be surprised if you start seeing Ben McAdoo will be the new head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Just throwing it out there. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man, dude, Ben McAdoo, and I said that on Tuesday before the draft. Dude, I'm happy that we had Ben McAdoo a part of our draft room. And I think that it was because of him that we favored a quarterback with more upside in Corral over someone like, say, Sam Howell out of UNC, So, dude, shout out to Ben McAdoo. I think that was a fantastic hire that Matt Rhule made, bringing that guy in. I feel like he fought for the right type of guy for the Panthers. And I think that's important. By the way, Locks, I have not been watching football since 2011. That's when I became a Panthers fan. But even if I did, I still know half of people who get paid to talk about the shit on ESPN. So let's just move on. I want to talk about Ikem Ekwonu real quick. And my question, let me add Matt to the stream. Matt, what's up, bro?
What's up, brothers?
What's up, man?
Going on, Matt?
You're just in time. I wanted to ask this question to everyone. Again, maybe I'm going on about it too much. And ultimately, I don't feel too strongly about it either way. But my question is this. Should Ikem Ekwonu play left tackle or left guard? I want you to give me your best argument. Tell me where you think he should play. And then, if wherever you have him playing, who do you have playing next to him?
Hey,
So
guys,
if
I
you-
gotta. I'm sorry.
do your thing, man.
I'm sorry to bother you. I gotta cut out. I gotta spend some time with my daughter real quick. But if
Hey, do
y'all
your
are back,
thing,
if
man.
y'all
I
are
appreciate you
I'll
jumping
be
on the
back.
show, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
See y'all
you're
in a
good,
little
man.
bit.
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
my question
Go ahead,
is,
Matt.
All right, you want me to hit that first?
Yeah, man, go
do your
for it.
thing, man.
All right, so we know Brady Christensen can play left tackle. We know he does struggle with guard. So I would be okay with Ickey playing guard simply because he can play both positions. But specifically with the guard position, and we've said this many times, it opens up that run game for McCaffrey and Foreman.
Right.
So
Right.
it would make sense, although we know he's a dominant left tackle, it would make sense for him to be played at guard. But honestly, I'd be okay with either or because we also, on the other hand, we have Cade Mays, who we could throw in there, and we also have Deontay Brown, who we could also plug in and play at guard. So honestly, I think people are overthinking this question way too hard. And honestly, there are multiple answers for that question that could result in a fantastic offensive line.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I've been saying, man. I think that when you want to run the football, And when you want to give your quarterback a pocket to throw from, you have to build that interior offensive line. And, again, I feel he can play either position well. But if you put him at left guard, Bozeman in the middle, Corbett at right side, dude, that would be one nasty combination on your interior, though. And part of the reason I think this is because Brady Christensen might be a better served as a left tackle than a guard. And, I think there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of mix and match and recreate these combos right here. Drew, let's go to you. I think you agree with me, but what do you think, man? Where do you see Ikem playing, and who plays on the other side of it?
I would like to start Ickey at left guard, just because, as we've all said, that he's going to need to be a little polished up to be a left tackle as far as his pass blocking is concerned. Ease him into that by having him play between Bozeman and Brady Christensen.
Yeah,
that would help ease him into the professional game. We already know he's a dominant road grader as far as run blocking, but it helps him build his confidence as far as being a better pass blocker, being inside between those two players. Eventually, what I would like to see once he gets his confidence up, I would like to see him moved out to left tackle and Deontay Brown moved into left guard, because those two guys will move some people.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And knowing that we have Bozeman on a one-year deal too, Deontay Brown has said he might even consider moving to center. And as someone who has been chanting the name Deontay Brown and Brady Christensen for all of last season, I think one of those guys is inevitably going to end up being an odd man out. And that I don't know, especially now that you have Cade Mays and Corbett and Bozeman. I think someone like Deontay Brown is really going to have to show something in training camp, or he might continue to be a backup for us. You know what I mean? And we're here talking about him like he's an option, but the coaches may never give him that chance, man, especially now that we have new players in front of him. Kenneth, what do you think about all this, man?
Well, I like I'm kind of torn. I really am. I'd like to see Brady Christensen get an opportunity at left tackle, but at the same time, I don't want to spend a all training camp figuring it out. Jordan Gross is very adamant. If you're going to play, figure out where you're going to play him at, and leave him at that one spot. Let him learn that spot. And then Brady Christensen. If all else fails, we end up putting Dante Brown or Cade Mays at guard. Well, and Ickey at tackle, then you still have Brady Christensen to be a swing tackle. You still have that, or let's be honest. We would be just fine, I believe, if Pat Elflein and Cam Irving wasn't on the team anymore. But also something to say that we don't talk a lot about. Cade Mays played center quite often in college. He played center at the Senior Bowl. There is a chance that they could line him up to play center, because we would save some cap if we dumped Pat Elflein. So
I tell you what, this preseason this year should be more exciting than normal from a depth perspective. Seeing what offensive line guys are going to take a step forward, what positions they play guys at, that's going to be an interesting thing to watch and consider going forward. Mike, the supreme leader, man, tell me what you're thinking. Do you care either way, one way or the other? Ekwonu at left tackle, left guard? Who's on the other side, wherever you put him?
It really upsets me what happened last season, the way they threw Christensen around like that. Now we're here having this discussion on who's going to go where, and the way I see it, let the best man win. If Ickey's the best left tackle, let him play left tackle. If it's Christensen, put him there and slide Ickey inside. It's just sucks we're at this point now, but I feel like our O-line will definitely be a hell of a lot better than last year.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
So much better.
Oh, speaking of that, I'll have to pull it up and look at it. to see what source it was from,
I
but
think I might even know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Top 10
it's
O-line predictions.
yeah. So 2022 pass protection expectations.
I knew Cody
The
had-
league has us ranked as the 9th overall offensive line, best offensive line.
Wow.
Right now we're looking at a 69 overall for the tackle, 84 at center, and then 32 at guard, which does put us at 9th overall.
So
That's the picture. Yep.
I told you I had it, baby. So look, with all of our offensive line moves in free agency and offseason, this is what we are projected. This is where our offensive line is projected to rank. So pass protection based on current 5 projected starters via our lads. And they have the Panthers at number 9, the number 9th overall rated offensive line behind San Fran, New England, Denver, Tampa, Washington, Detroit, Green Bay, and Philly. So it seems like not only do Panther fans expect this offensive line to take a jump, but a lot of these metric sites are saying that the Panthers are in a good position to take another big step forward. Let me add Kevin to the stream. Kevin, what's up, bro?
Not much, man. I just got home from watching the new Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, really? Was it awesome?
Oh, man.
Don't spoil it, man.
I'm just going to say nostalgia and a lot of violence.
Oh
boy!
Yeah.
I watched it yesterday, man. If you got a young kid, do not bring that kid to that damn movie.
Oh, dude, that actually, I love that because my biggest fear is that Disney is just gonna make Marvel movies just so milquetoast. I'm happy.
Man,
dude.
this one.
I'm happy. But yeah, Kevin, jump in on this combo, man. Does Ikem Ekwonu play left tackle, or left guard? Which one do you play?
I want him to play guard, but he's probably going to play tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
I mean, I really don't think there's a wrong answer. Like what if he plays left tackle or left guard, either way. Like I think JD in the chat room said it earlier. That it's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
To have that, not knowing where to play your good players.
I said this last night
at
PNP. I said Carolina will have the best offensive line in the South when they had their little MC South roundtable.
Well, right now they say that only Tampa Bay should have a better O-line. Go ahead, Kenneth.
I just want to throw this out there, and it's really not going to do with the offensive line. But what I find that intriguing is the draft just happened last week, literally last week, and the Panthers already have 2 people sign their contracts. I mean, that's got to be a record. We're the only team in the league that's already got contracts signed.
We all got $30 million just chilling.
Jordan Davis, Philadelphia's got a couple. Jordan Davis and a couple other players.
Person for Kansas City.
And I guess I go way back, and I remember when it used to be a struggle to get everybody signed. And the edge signed last week, and today the corner signed. So,
hey Cody, as far as this whole left tackle thing, my opinion on it is, and you watch more film than I did, but my whole thing is like, you took the dude 6th, man, and he plays left tackle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, we've had how many left tackles starting in the past? Was it 7 straight years of different left tackle?
Yeah.
And one thing I want to point out to people, just because Brady struggled at left guard last year, look who he's going to play with this year. He's not playing with
great point.
Cam Irvin and Circle, whatever his name is, Circle Jerk. And I just think that,
I like that.
He just
which one's Circle
him and Dante on the left side, just
either one
just making humongous holes for Matt Corral and McCaffrey.
Right.
And no, that's a great point. And listen,
plus he'll have
I've said this a number of times over the season. Like playing, a lot of people got really down on Taylor Moton at one point in time. And I'm like, guys, you have to understand, he is the only good offensive lineman playing on that line. That line plays as a unit. So when one guy doesn't do his job, it makes them all look bad. And I think that is a good point to be made about Brady Christensen. Yeah, last year, the snaps that we looked at of him playing at guard, they weren't very good. But if they gave him the entire offseason, the rest of the summer and training camp to acclimate himself to that position, and he's going to have a better guy to his left and his right. Yeah, I'm not opposed to it, man. I see that 100%, and it makes sense to me too.
And
Cody, we also have to remember Jason Kelsey was on Bleacher Report, and he also made the statement. He said, "Yeah, Ikem Ekwonu can be a Pro Bowl left tackle, but he can be a Hall of Fame left guard."
Oh, who said that?
Jason Kelsey.
Oh, okay.
Eagles.
Oh, and dude, let me tell you,
a Pro Bowl left tackle is great to have, but if you're telling me this man can be a Hall of Fame guard, I mean, that's saying something. And this is from a guy who's a 5-time Pro Bowler who's done it.
Yeah.
Well, and the nice thing is too that means that our pick last year with Brady Christensen wasn't a waste, because when you look back at the tape, Brady Christensen played better at left tackle than he did at left guard.
Because that's all he's ever played. He's never played anything other than left tackle.
Yeah.
And I want to say something else too. The biggest thing that Cody, you broke it down more than I did. Yep. But the biggest thing I saw on tape with Ikem Ekwonu is hopefully we won't have to get stunt to death all year long in our offense, because he picks them up all the time, and it's like,
oh yeah,
we could pick up a stunt last year to save our life. It was like the most embarrassed. Like, we had our offensive line and tackling each other. They did a stunt, and we were just tackling each other, trying to block them.
Yeah, that was pure embarrassing.
Miller and Jordan looking at each other dead in the face, like, what are we doing?
Even recently, I think John Ellis on Twitter was putting out some clips of our offensive line last year, just getting absolutely destroyed.
Sacks happen.
Yeah, man, dude. Sacks happen. Hey, real quick, let me welcome my man Brad to the stream. Brad, long time listener. What's up, bro?
How's it going, guys?
How's it going, man? Yeah,
I'm just honestly waiting for Ikem Ekwonu to finally figure out his damn number so I can buy that jersey.
79.
Yeah.
Oh no.
69.
Bro.
Yeah, I made a statement on draft night that in the Panthers town hall that as long as they didn't take Kenny Pickett at 6, I didn't give a shit who that pick was. I was buying that jersey, and they didn't take Kenny Pickett at 6. So
you're a man of your word. So let me ask you that question then: left tackle or left guard for Ikem Ekwonu? Where do you think best suits him?
I think they're going to give him every opportunity to win the left tackle job.
Yep.
I don't know that he's going to win it. It really comes down to whether or not you trust Campen, right? The problem is we haven't seen enough of Brady Christensen to honestly make a determination as to whether or not he's the better left tackle over Ikem Ekwonu, or whether or not Ekwonu is the better left tackle, right? I think either way you're going to have a Pro Bowler in either position, so it's not a loss. But I would say that if he ends up being a left guard and we took a Pro Bowl left guard at 6, that's not a very good pick, to be honest. Like, you kind of want those picks in the top 10 to be your left tackle, your right tackle, somebody who's going to have more of an impact, to be more of a bookend on your offensive line. If we took a guard at 6, then that pick was kind of not great.
So if he turns out to be a Hall of Fame left guard, it's not a great pick?
Most left guards don't go into the Hall of Fame, man.
Quentin
Well,
Nelson,
Brad, let me ask you. But Brad, that's what I was about to ask you. Do you think that, let's say, a Quentin Nelson is not worth a top 5 pick in the NFL?
No, I don't. I just don't.
Wow.
I think you can get competent. I think you can get competent offensive line play in the later rounds. I don't think you need left tackle outside of the first round is. They don't stick very often. I mean, they just don't. Especially not out of the top 10. I don't know.
I think Quentin Nelson was actually drafted for later on to be kicked to the left tackle position but they found that he doesn't really want to go left tackle. So I think
Well,
when he was
and
drafted, his original design was to be later on to be kicked into left tackle.
Well, and he's such a good guard at Notre Dame. It's like there was almost no point. I mean, I respect it, Brad. I disagree. Like I thought that with Derek Brown when we drafted him, just because the type of tackle that he was, to me that was a reach, right? But in today's NFL, running the football and creating a pocket for your quarterback to be able to step up into, nothing is more important, in my opinion, than the offensive interior. And I feel like over the past couple of years, you have slowly started to see the importance of the guard and center positions. And
that's
that
where
is
most
like,
of our flex came from last year.
yeah, and by the way, in our Panthers 2015 season, that was by far the strength of our offensive line, was that interior with Norwell, Khalil, and Turner. So, I mean,
and by the way, they are reunited in Washington.
Yeah, I did see you put that on Twitter. That's
Washington got a whole bunch of wash players, bro.
I mean,
Washington washing machines. I'm telling you.
And Greg Van Roten got released today from the Jets. Who thinks that he'll end up in Washington?
Who got released?
Who?
Greg Van Roten.
He's in San Diego, right?
No, he was with the Jets.
Oh.
By the way, Brad made a good point that got me thinking too. So you all remember how their original evaluation of Brady Christensen was a guard.
Yeah.
Right.
Bingo.
So if they have Ikem Ekwonu at left tackle, this is an opportunity for them to vindicate their original evaluation.
Oh, he's going to be a tackle. Like, I just think he should be better as a guard.
Well, I'm saying Christensen, they would view it as a pat on the back if Christensen did become a guard long term, because they say he was a second-round guard and a third-round tackle.
Matt Rhule had him as a second-round guard and a third-round tackle.
That's a real key right there.
Do you remember when James Campson was doing his press conference, and he said that so they were asking him about Brady Christensen playing right or left, or left inside or outside, and he said, well, he can play either, but that's Matt Rhule's decision. So,
and to be fair, I don't think
he
expected Ikem Ekwonu to fall to 6. I'm sure it changed.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't.
I really don't think any of them did.
No. Well, I didn't.
Giants would take
but it with how it fell and who we got. But at the same time, if James Campson and McAdoo were very serious about wanting Brady Christensen to play left tackle, even if Rhule didn't like it, I believe if they went above Matt Rhule, they would get their way. I really believe that right now.
Yeah, but I think so. But like Drew said, that was Matt Rhule's original evaluation.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
We all saw last year that this man would not give Christensen an opportunity at that left tackle spot. Now he finally has a guy with 34-inch arms.
Right.
I feel like we know where this is going to go. The sad thing about it is that one of those guys is inevitably, to me, going to be the odd man out. Right. And between Brady Christensen and Deontay Brown. I was hoping for an offensive line that consisted of both of them.
I think we still can.
Don't think so now.
I think we still can, but we've got to be willing to cut bait with some of these other folks. And I'm sorry, I know there's 4-man rush. Some of them love this Michael Jordan dude. I just don't see what people are looking at. I don't see that.
And see, people in the chat are talking about you can find guards in the later round a dime a dozen. Doing that is why we ended up with Michael Jordan and John Miller playing guard last year.
Dennis Daly. Dennis Daly had a lot of hype when we drafted him. Guess what? He played multiple positions. I'd be all right to cut him.
But then Kansas City
got
this
to be fair,
Dennis
Daly was a 6th-round pick, though.
Well, you're right. I understand that. It's just like Cade Mays is a 6th-round pick, but they had him graded out as a 4th-round pick.
Hey, Cody,
I personally believe he could push to start, but maybe I'm biased.
Cade Mays played center in college a lot too. Yeah. So I think that I think he's their long-term answer for center because, Alec, so there are a couple things with the draft that I didn't really like I'm not very high on Matt Corral. I'm just not. I would have rather they trade up a little bit sooner and gotten Kobe Dean to fill that inside linebacker position, because our inside linebackers are god awful this coming year. I mean, Corey Littleton is not.
Yeah,
he ain't great.
Was he the one that got arrested?
No, that was Damian Wilson.
No.
That's gonna be our bleak spot this year, the linebacker.
I mean, and like Brad, I saw you in the chat room earlier, but that was one of the reasons why I led off with that question. Like, even you can think good or bad of the draft, but it all hinges on, do we have the proper coaching to get the most out of these players? Because like from a linebacker's perspective, like if I'm just being honest with you, for as accomplished as Nakobe Dean was, I feel like Brandon Smith has more upside than Nakobe Dean does, just being 6'4", 245 pounds, whatever he is, and the ability to run a 4.3 something. Like,
right,
I don't know that. Like, I'm not denying that Nakobe is a better player right now, but in the long term, Brandon could be a better player. The question is, do we have the coaches to actually get that out of them?
Right, and I think I can't remember who our linebacker coach is, but it's the same guy who coached Luke and coached TD, right? Rob Holcomb, I think.
Is it?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, and to be honest, like, I think that's a decent linebacker coach. The problem that I have with, so if you look at the comps for Brandon Smith, a lot of people have said the comp is Tahir Whitehead, and that just screams like, please God, no to me.
Chris.
So I'm kind of like,
Google says our linebacking coach is Mike Sarabo.
Oh, did they? I thought it was Lynn.
Oh, and of course, it was an assistant coach at Baylor.
I'm sure Steve Wilkes will have a say in it too. Give his percent.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, man. To be honest with you, everybody keeps. I don't know.
Go ahead, J Subs.
I said everybody keeps saying the whole Phil Snow thing. I mean, sorry, not Phil Snow. Steve Wilkes.
Steve Wilkes.
And I love Steve Wilkes. He's awesome, but I don't. Unless they fire Rhule mid-season and Phil Snow goes with him, I just don't see it. Phil Snow's still going to have this defense, and it's really the same problem we've had the past 2 years.
I'm just saying he might throw in his 2 cents.
Well, and and to be quite fair, like, I know that Phil Snow has been the best defensive, like the best coach of the past 2 years. Sure. That's still not saying much, right? They still don't adjust well at halftime. Their defense is built like their defense is built to be predicated on speed, right? And that's great in college. You need a defense. You need guys who will, I hate to be kind of a bearer bat, like, I hate raining on people's parades. I really do. But like last year, a lot of NFL pundits said that our defense was soft, and that's a problem, right? Like you can't depend on this defense to get off the field on a crucial third down. And I know the caveat is, well, Darnold turned the ball over a whole bunch. There's a real possibility that's going to be the case this year. We're not going to have Hassan Reddick to generate 11 sacks either.
Yeah, true. And actually, so I had this question for last on my list, but it's kind of relevant now. So we'll go ahead and just
somebody got an echo.
Ask it now. Yeah. So whenever you're not talking, mute your microphone so that way there's no background noise. If you have volume going on in the background, but basically, like, there was rumors going around on Twitter that the Panthers might be poised to sign Jadeveon Clowney. And that was something that came across the screen. Let me get everyone's opinion on that real quick. Is that something that you would like? You think we should? All right, tell me about it.
I think so. I mean, what's his specialty? I mean, I know he's not great, but he could be a starter. He can help. He can help with the run. You know what I'm saying?
Pass rushing.
No. But he actually don't get a lot of sacks. But still,
he's
good at stopping the run. I would sign him though.
He had more than Reddick did last year.
If he would come here, but
I trust him more than YGM. Put it that way.
At this point, I would sign him just to try and stop the run.
Right.
He's a pass rusher though.
Well, to be fair though, I mean, most of the running, the big runs that we had that our defense gave up last year were when they ran straight at Brian Burns, right? I mean, if you watch PMP did a really good show on it. Like, defense has figured out if I run straight at Brian Burns, nobody's stopping me, right?
Yeah, that's been his biggest criticism. Yeah,
right. So, I don't think that signing, like, I would do it personally, like. I would do it knowing, but I would know, like, as far as his price is concerned, I'm only getting probably about 10 games out of him. I mean, that's about it, right? If that.
Yeah, injury is a concern.
I would love Gilmore and him.
That's our whole squad, to be honest.
South Carolina all day.
Right. I mean, that's the thing is, like, Vegas came out today and said the over-under for Carolina next season is 5.5. I'm putting 300 on the under. Like, I'm being honest. Like, I think this roster is a lot better than it was last year. But we still got some massive holes. And
the schedule was brutal.
The schedule is rough.
I said the schedule last year was easy, so I don't care about the schedule.
On paper, though, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Someone hurt, and then this person wants out. And
you never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I don't know. I just feel like signing Jadeveon Clowney doesn't move the needle for me much. It just doesn't. Like, I think we're still going to, I would rather they find somebody competent who can play middle linebacker. I think that will help a lot. Honestly, I think signing James Bradbury once he gets released, that might help a lot because, I know he doesn't fit the speed at all costs kind of prototype for our cornerback room, but like, we haven't seen enough of J.C. Horn to say, he's going to lock down one side of the field the entire time. We've seen Bradbury go up against the best wide receivers in the NFC South and lock them out. Like,
well, but there's also Giants fans said that last season. So his first year with the Giants, he was incredible, but then apparently last season, he was like a liability down the field, and he was sort of a mixed bag with us too. Like, James Bradbury was an up and down kind of player. Sometimes he was shutting down Julio, and then sometimes he would just have a bad play where it's like, dude, what were you even looking at on that play? I don't know. I think right now, like, Clowney, for me, it's a depth move, and you're stopping them from trying to be able to run the football to the edges so much.
Right. I really don't. I've heard a lot of the Bradbury talk on.
Hey, whoever's got the TV in the background, turn the TV down just a little. Whoever.
But I really don't see Bradbury coming here. I don't, because Scott Fitterer has spent. He re-signed J.C. Horn to a nice big contract. Not J.C. Horn, Jackson.
Dante,
Dante.
Then, but he spent. If you add them all together, the next two, Horn and Henderson, are both high draft picks in very recent drafts, extremely recent drafts. Then he spent he spent fourth and the fifth. We've got draft picks on lower tier guys. I don't see. I'm not a big fan right now of Henderson, honestly, but I think Scott Fitterer is, and I don't see Scott Fitterer bringing Bradbury here and giving him the money Bradbury wants, unless you're planning to pick him up on waivers.
We're not getting Bradbury unless we're getting like a team.
I don't think Bradbury's coming here. I know a lot of people would like that, but I just don't. Now, if Bradbury wanted to play safety, I would bring him in. But
is there anyone who's like
coming here?
By the way, we still have a good bit of money to spend too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm asking. Go ahead.
Well, and to be fair, to comment on the screen, right? Like, I understand that, Bradbury, like I said, was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but all we have for J.C. Horn at this point is upside. We don't know who he is. We have no clue. He lost the teams who played. He lost an entire year worth of development, right? So you kind of have to go into it, and I mean, he could be that guy who locks down an entire side of the field. And I'm a complete fool for suggesting he's not, right? He could come out and do that, but at this point, like, if my entire secondary is predicated on learning from Dante Jackson, who also has been really up and down his entire career, and often injured, right? I just don't see a lot of dogs in the secondary. I just don't.
Yeah.
I agree. And you know what? If Bradbury does to come here, if he does, it will be because Steve Wilkes is here. That would be the only reason why he comes here. Steve Wilkes is his favorite coach. But at the same time, if Bradbury's a professional, and I would think he is, he would look and say that, well, the Bills run the very same offense, and he does still get along well with Ron Rivera. So,
Probably get paid more too.
Cody, I'm cool with not getting Bradbury. He doesn't fit what we want to do. We want to play man.
No,
right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't fit.
Yeah. And real quick, 103 people watching, man. 53 thumbs up. I appreciate everybody. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Hit that notification bell for every single time we go live. Yeah, man. Like, dude, I mean, thinking about our cornerback room, I honestly think that's one of the best rooms that we have. I think that you have to bet on your young talent. I know that we lost a year with J.C. Horn, but, I mean, you drafted him that high for a reason. And in my opinion, he's still got all-pro potential at corner. Like, he has every bit the upside of a Jalen Ramsey or a prime Stephon Gilmore, in my opinion. But you also mentioned Dante Jackson, and I do think that Dante this year, now us having C.J. Henderson and J.C. Horn, it puts us in a much better position to not leave Dante on an island. Like, imagine if you put Dante in the slot and left him there. Like, that would be absolutely perfect for him. Get him on the speed matchups. Like, now you can kind of put Dante where he's best instead of always putting him on the best wide receiver that opposing teams are coming at us with. So I like what our defensive back room looks like right now. My biggest concern is still the linebacker core, because I feel like outside of Brandon Smith being young and raw, like Brad was saying, we just don't have a lot of experience at that position. And, Shaq is getting long in the tooth. Luvu, I imagine, to be more of a pass rusher this year. I don't know. I'm still worried about linebacker, And that's frankly why I wouldn't mind Jadeveon Clowney either.
I'm more worried, I'm more worried about the D-line more than anything, to be honest with you.
I think they're going to put some of the edge rushers, as we call them, at linebacker. I really do. Because we have, to my opinion, we have a shortage on linebackers. But you got game day, you're going to put some of the defensive linemen up there. I'm not a really big fan of it, because sure as you do that, you're going to get caught in coverage problems. But
I think they're banking on Corey Littleton to step up to the plate.
Yeah, he maybe. We signed a big old defensive lineman as an undrafted free agent, from Kentucky, a McCall dude. McCall. He a big old boy though. He's a big old nose tackle. It's just what he is.
By the way, I still heard
like
rumors. I heard that Mario Addison and AJ Klein were still free agents.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you, man.
Mario
AJ Klein. I mean, honestly,
I love Mario, man.
Dude, those are two names I would not mind seeing back in Panthers uniform.
Mario signed with the Texans.
Oh,
did he? Okay, I didn't know
Is
that.
Morgan
But
Fox
AJ
still a
Klein,
free agent?
AJ Klein is pretty. He's pretty old, but he's still he's familiar with that position. He's been good on every team he's been in.
Yeah.
So,
he was Diet Luke Kuechly.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'd still bring him in. Personally, but but again, that's the thing is he doesn't grade out as being supremely athletic, and that's really the big thing that they care about. They don't look at their PFF scores. They don't watch a whole lot of tape. It seems like that the front office and coaching staff pays attention to those RAS scores. It's all about how athletic you are. They want a bunch of athletes on that defense. and they want it. I get it. You can't teach athleticism. Totally understand that. But like I said, I mean, at some point you got to get some dogs on there. You got to get some people who know what they're doing and are competent, and technique can make up for a lot of athletic defect or deficits. I mean,
yeah. I mean, they clearly value that RAS score. But listen, y'all already went an hour and 10 minutes without him. Y'all thought we were gonna go a whole Friday free for all without G Baby?
Uh-oh.
Come on, man. You know what it is. G Baby, come tell me how bad this team is, brother.
Hey, what's good with my dogs, G?
We out here chilling, bro. What's good?
What's up?
Man, living this, just got off work, just got done slaving, for the 5 days, it's Friday night, trying to live the life.
Hey,
Feeling good.
I feel you, man.
Living the dream.
I feel you, man. Hey, man, tell me what you think about. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to know how my dogs are doing, man. It's the fucking Friday free for all, man. This is where we could come in here and vent about these motherfuckers, man.
Bro, I'm doing good,
We're
man.
Super Bowl bound, brother.
I'm feeling optimistic about my team, bro. Like, real talk, I think our offensive line has been upgraded. I trust the coaches that we brought in to be able to kind of usurp Matt Rhule and put him in his place when he needs to, and give him some opinions, man, because I think right now we're having to overcome Matt Rhule. But right now, I like what Federer has done to the roster. I like the additions we made on the offensive line. I think our offensive weapons are better than they ever have been. I mean, I'm feeling good right now, man. We were just talking about Jadeveon Clowney, potentially signing him as a free agent. I would love that. Stay the
fuck away from Clowney, bro.
I mean, but we're not going to depend on him, though. He's not going to be a number one.
It's a waste of money, bro. It's a waste of money when we're not going to do shit this year. It's only going to put us back, bro. Look at how we did Stephon Gilmore. Look at how we did Hassan Riddick. Like, what did we really come away with? Like, nothing. It was for nothing.
And to kind of counter argument to that, we paid them millions of dollars. So at this point, I'm kind of tired of feeling sorry for people that are making 10 to 20 times.
It was a waste of money. Hey, listen to this, y'all. Listen to this. Charlotte is not a city on where we're going to be able to bring all these extravagant superstars, man. We got to build this shit from the mud up, bro. We have to build this shit through the fucking draft. Like, we have to build this dynasty through the draft.
It costs a lot of money, though.
Hey, but costs a lot. G Baby, let me ask you a question. Are you ready for YGM to play the whole year?
Yes.
So you want him to play the whole year?
Yes.
No one
they don't ever play it. Listen, I'm a fan of YGM, but they don't ever play him. They need to just let him play, bro. Let him take off, bro. How is he going to get better without playing time, man? I'm sick of bringing in these vets, bro. We don't need no more veterans, bro.
How much of that is coaches, or is it YGM just not being able to stay healthy?
Coaching, bro. This has to do with coaching. Let me ask you guys this. We have talent. We have a squad that can go to the playoffs this year. I don't see it with the strength of schedule and who our head coach. I just don't see it. I'm going to say it again. We're a 2-win team. But if we had Ron Rivera, we're going to the playoffs with this talent. I promise you. Ron Rivera, with this talent on this team, we're going to the playoffs. I don't give a fuck what no one says, man.
I
don't like it. I love the Matt Rhule vitriol. I mean, I get off on it. I'm not gonna lie. You just pump that straight in my veins, G Baby. Do it. Give it to me.
His name's not Matt Rhule, it's Rat Rule. What has Rat Rule done for us? Besides lie to my face every single time he talks.
He does, man. But like my dude,
that's every coach.
I think one of the questions that we're having to ask: can this football team overcome Matt Rhule as a head coach?
No. You guys must have forgot how bad the season was last year. So y'all must have fucking forgot.
So
we're a lot different team than we was last year.
But at the same time,
that is true. Go ahead, Brad.
I prepare to see a lot of Dante Foreman or Donta Freeman, right? Prepare to see a lot of him because there's a couple of different things. Like the national media is like, Well, can Christian McCaffrey stay healthy? Probably not. It doesn't matter what offensive line he's running behind. Like most of those injuries he had last year, one of them was a non-contact injury, and the other one, his ankle got rolled up on. That's still going to happen.
Time out. Christian McCaffrey is not injury prone, bro. Don't do that, G.
I don't know. But
no, fuck that shit. No, bro.
But G,
hold on, time out, bro. Time out, G. Why would
2 years in a row?
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Yes, he did get hurt, but why would he come back for this trash-ass organization when you have Ed McCaffrey and a godfather like Shannon Sharp talking in your ear telling you, why go back? Why not save the tread on the tires? He plays the running back position, bro. I would have done the same thing, bro. I wouldn't have came back. We're shit. I believe Christian McCaffrey has a lot of tread left on his fucking tires, man. I truly believe that. And Dante Foreman... Hold on. Dante Foreman, don't get me started on Dante Foreman. Bro, I'm a Texas Longhorn fan. I was in Texas when we won the national championship back in 2005. I love Dante Foreman. I feel like he's going to help us a ton. He's going to have 10 tutties this year.
Probably because, honestly, I mean, the way Rhule wants to play, he wants to run the ball 40 times a game. Like 30, 35 plus. That's what's going to happen. And it doesn't... And part of me, like, I'm at the point, honestly, where I just think even if Matt Corral doesn't immediately beat out Sam Darnold, trot him out there week 1. Same with Brandon Smith. Put him out there at middle linebacker. See what they got, right? Because I'm kind of on G Baby's side. I don't see more than I see 2 to 4 wins. That's it. I mean,
well, I mean, like it all depends on the quarterback position. Go ahead, Kenneth. You gonna say something?
No, it does not depend on the QB position, bro. It doesn't.
Dude, it definitely does, dude.
Not this year. It doesn't, bro.
Quarterback position is
Cody Lack
is going to be super important, especially if Matt Corral can take a step up. Now, I'm not here to guarantee you that Matt Corral is ready because I don't know that.
He'll be starting week 1.
Hold on. What I'm here to tell you is that coming from a spread offense where they didn't ask these players to do a lot of shit, it's hard to know how far along they actually are. Don't be surprised if Matt Corral is ready to play NFL football a little faster than people give him credit for, man, especially if our offensive line is that much improved this year.
It's not going to be because he's ready. It's going to be because Sam Darnold fucking sucks, and the pressure is going to be too hot for his ass, and he's going to lose that shit in fucking training camp. Book it, bro. He's already shitting himself right now, man. He can't even believe it. He ain't going to be able to handle that pressure. And this is why I'm saying Matt Corral will be the starter week 1, but that's not a good thing with this schedule. So I don't think he should start. I feel like Sam Darnold should just get his ass kicked the entire year, but there's too much pressure on Matt Rhule and this coaching staff, man.
And G Baby, I would agree with that. The problem is like, we need to know if Matt Corral is the guy before we go draft next year, because we're gonna be a top 4 or 5.
We're gonna have a top 3 pick, and both those quarterbacks are gonna be Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I don't give a fuck what anyone says, man.
Right. So we
cannot pass on that generational type talent. If we're picking in the top 3, no, we're not passing on CJ Stroud and fucking Bryce Young. Fuck that. No, we won't
be picking in the top 3.
We will be picking top 3, bro.
I'll be surprised.
Hey, G Baby, I'm cool with you saying everything, bro, but the chat room is saying you're blowing their speakers out. Turn the volume down just a little, bro. But you're good.
Hey, my bad, chat. I've been chiefing. I'm blowing the walls down over here. My bad.
But you're just loud. Don't blame Mary Jane. You're just loud. It's all right. So am I.
Hey, Cody.
Go ahead.
With the whole C-Mac thing, is like there is some validity to what G Baby's saying. Like, of course, C-Mac's not going to rush back, but at the same time, it's like I truly believe that dude wants to be all pro every year. Like that dude wants to be great. You know what I'm saying? So it's probably a thin line. He comes back week 10 and we suck. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, like, you can't say he's not injury prone because he clearly is. You know what I'm saying?
He is, man. And like, listen, like, G Baby, like, I want Christian to be as good as the next man. Like, a healthy Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the NFL, man. And like, I'm not here to argue that with anyone. The thing with Christian is now that we have built up this offensive line, he needs to be able to stay healthy, man, because this is why you don't pay running backs when they get hurt so often. They get hurt so often, and then you got to pay them all this money. I don't know, man. Like, for all the money that we paid McCaffrey, this is the year to earn it, man. We have to have him come December time, man. We have to.
Can I ask you this, Cody Lack, real quick?
Yeah, and then we'll go to Kevin. What's up?
Hey, in your opinion, in your personal opinion, who is the best running back at catching the ball and running routes in the entire NFL?
I mean, it's between.
Ain't no between.
I mean, yeah, it's
no
Christian. Christian McCaffrey is my number one, and then next, outside of Christian, maybe Alvin Kamara. But
okay, so
number one.
So can I ask you this now?
Yeah.
Was Christian McCaffrey not an All-Pro at the running back position and the flex?
I mean, yeah, he was an All-Pro doing both of them.
Okay,
but
thank you.
He's not an All-Pro if he's not on the field.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Why did Matt Rhule say Christian McCaffrey is only going to be playing the running back position when he can do so much more to help this fucking team?
I mean, he's already doing it all from the running back
why would he give away the game plan of what we're going to do next season?
Yeah, go ahead, Nick. Say it again.
Because why would he give away the game plan of what we are going to do next season? That's just stupid.
I truly believe he will not use Christian McCaffrey in the slot, bro. I truly believe that. Like, he don't know what the fuck that's bad, horrible coaching, man.
Matt Rhule's not the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator makes the choices. Matt Rhule just allows offensive coordinator what to do. He just lets it happen. He picks up.
But honestly, doesn't Christian
make the calls?
Yeah, but doesn't Christian play into this too? I don't think Christian wants to do what you said,
He's the opposite of Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, that man wants to play running back, and I think that's what he wants to do, and that's where they believe in him to be the most successful. You know, like a lot of fans are like, "Oh, well, use him like Cooper Kupp," and you know that's easier said than done too. It's like it's not a 1-for-1.
And as far as for game planning, when that dude lines up in the backfield, you have no idea what we're gonna fucking run at all.
Yeah.
Have y'all heard Christian McCaffrey's response when they asked him about lining up in the slot?
No, I didn't hear it. What is
I think
that?
I did.
He said, "No, I'm a running back."
Yeah, he wants to prove he's a running back.
He's a running back. He's going to play running back. He's not playing slot receiver, and I don't think he cares if everybody don't like it or not.
And by the way, look what that man did on that 2017 or 18 team, and behind a terrible offensive line. Like, guys, if Christian can stay healthy, he was picking up yards after contact like it was nothing last year. Like when this man is on the field, is electric. Go ahead, Brad.
A healthy Christian McCaffrey equals about 5 wins a season. He will drag your team kicking and screaming to 5 wins a season, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's debating that. The only thing that we're kind of debating at this point is, did they run? Like, I know G Baby said that they have lots of. You think he has tread on the tires, and I'm not saying he doesn't, but like, you know, the last couple of years has given enough. It's given enough to. It hasn't exactly calmed the fires when it comes to the why do you pay running backs discussion, right? Like, you look at Todd Gurley, right? They paid him, and 2 years later he was cut. You paid Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, but
and then 2 years later he's only played in 8 games total.
After Gurley got hurt, he was not the same running back. C-Mac is still the same running back when on that field.
Hey Cody. One of these days,
that's a fact, Kevin.
One of these days, maybe next week when the schedule comes out this week, we need to look at the schedule. I don't see all this tough schedule you people are seeing. Maybe it's because I'm looking through Carolina Panthers sunglasses.
Well, it's the AFC West, right?
What? Look at it though. Let's just you got
AFC
the
North
Falcons
and
twice.
NFC West.
You got the Falcons twice, right? We know that they're probably as worse as we are. The Saints,
but they
they
beat us once every year, no matter what. Anyway,
the Saints don't have Sean Payton, and I don't see them being as good as people think they are. Not with they don't have a left tackle, so
they do. They got Trevor Penning.
Yeah,
they have
I know they got Trevor Penning, but
and their defense is woo.
I don't
secondary crazy.
Yeah, I think he's quite a bit overrated, but I don't think he's going to be ready to play. But you got
The Saints picked up Marcus May and the Honey Badger, man.
So look, we play everyone.
The Honey Badger's been on multiple different teams. He gets hurt quite often anyway.
So look, let's look at it from this perspective, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, for the
when
home
we play the
opponents
Browns
next year-
is really telling too.
Yeah,
Because
we're going to play the Browns.
But he might not be playing though. Deshaun Watson, he might be suspended.
Yeah, he may not. He may be suspended. You don't know whether he's playing or not.
Yeah, true, and that's a damn good point. But like
the cards, you know, you never know how this contract situation they're going to. He may not even play.
Steelers, their quarterback.
Kyler Murray's not going to snap.
Kyler Murray is a player that it's looking like they're probably going to sign it. But hey, real talk, look how many young quarterbacks we're going to be playing next year. I'll count them off. Desmond Ridder. Okay, we're going to be playing. But yeah, and that's it. We're going to be playing Drew Lock for Seattle. Saints is Jameis Winston, and that's not young, but you know he's that's Jameis. It is who he is.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, and he beat us last year, but whatever. Jared Goff, Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett. Like, yeah, there's some good quarterbacks that we got to play, but then you know, I agree with Kenneth, man. Like, yes, it's gonna be a hard schedule, but I'm not just writing all of these off as losses. If the Panthers can figure out the quarterback position,
depending on how the schedule lays out, you don't even know who you're getting in San Francisco, because Cody, am I not correct? There's a lot of talk coming out of the 49ers that Lance is nowhere near ready.
And Hopkins,
I've been hearing that too, and I don't know what is or isn't true, because earlier I was hearing reports that they were very impressed with Trey Lance and that they were ready to pass the torch to him. So who knows what is or isn't real with them?
And Kamara with his running back, Kamara suspension problem.
Yeah.
Hopkins out.
Right. I mean,
I mean, there's a lot of room
there should
for
be a
some
lot more
victories
optimistic situations that we could go into this year. I mean, I'm not saying we go to the Super Bowl. Nobody misunderstand that. Okay, I don't know that we're even going to have a winning season, but I think we can get better record than we had last year.
I don't think we're going to be a top three, getting a top 3 draft with this.
I absolutely do. I mean, I look at the schedule and I see, like, the Falcons will split with them. I know that's what's going to happen. I think we'll probably beat this. We're not beating Detroit.
I think we are.
You
don't think we can beat Detroit?
No,
Detroit's defense is not that good right now.
They are good.
They could be if all their rookies plan out right.
They have a good draft,
but all their rookies have got to plan out good.
They have the second right now per projection. They have the second best offensive line in the NFL, according to projection, right? And their defense, they built it right. They built in the trenches. And everybody who wants to talk about how shitty Jared Goff is, you forget he outdueled Patrick Mahomes on the Thursday night game a couple of years ago. That wasn't that long ago. I mean,
different team.
Yeah, but he's also not. It was also Sean McVay and the talent that he had around him too. Like they're not comparable quarterback. And like I think of it from a matchups perspective. I think of Jared Goff throwing at J.C. Horn and Dante Jackson, and we're going to be having a very aggressive defense under Steve Wilkes, at least with our secondary. I don't know. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but to me, there are a few teams on this list that just don't scare me, man. Like, I know the Giants beat us. They don't scare me. A Russell Wilson-less Seahawks doesn't scare me. I mean, how about this? The Cardinals don't scare me.
No.
Why should they? We always beat the Cardinals.
It depends. It depends on what we get. Like, I guess it depends on when we get them in the season. Like, if we get them early, we can beat the Cardinals, right? Because Kyler Murray, correct me for saying this, Kyler Murray is not very good without DeAndre Hopkins. He's just not.
No, he's not. Like, I mean, I agree.
So
and when we get the Browns too.
To be fair, every quarterback could probably look better with his number one.
I don't think Kyler's ever beat us, to be honest.
No, he hasn't.
I mean, if we get the Browns the second game of the season, we could be playing like Dobbs or what's the other guy's name? At quarterback for them.
Jacoby
Deshaun
Brissett, I
Watson
think.
never beat us either.
Yeah, that's true. Deshaun's never beat us either. I don't know. And then you don't know who Trey Lance is yet. You don't know who Kenny Pickett is.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like the Bengals were in the Super Bowl last year. But
they always have a Super Bowl letdown.
But
for the
there's always
hangover, Super Bowl hangover.
There's always a Super Bowl hangover.
Every team that loses, like clockwork, something happens. They always get that Super Bowl hangover, man. Like, I mean, Locks Man said 8 wins. That doesn't seem too unreasonable.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of different ways that this can go.
And you never know how the training camp progresses or preseason. You know, there's always an injury. I don't wish injuries on no team. I never wish injuries on anybody, but there is always injuries, and you never know when one injury could snowball or cripple a team. You know, that's just fact. You look at some of these teams. Say that quarterback goes down on some of these teams, or that left tackle goes down. That makes our team up.
So many of those games that we thought we were going to lose, like the Cardinals game, they were missing all their players pretty much, and we won.
The Saints,
exactly.
The Saints, the first game.
Yeah, the Saints. We beat the Saints, and no one thought we were going to.
Exactly.
Nobody was around.
You just got it, and you got to remember that new head coach for the Saints, Dennis Allen. He's not. He hasn't had a lot of success as a head coach.
Yeah.
So
I want to move to my final question of the night, and I want to go to our new quarterback prospect, and I want to ask this question: what number do you think Matt Corral should rock in the NFL?
13.
I'm gonna take
Get rid of
the
that
comments
Benjamin.
off. This has been a hot
for
button
the number
topic,
one to even be in there, bro, is blasphemy, bro. Take that shit off, bro.
I know.
Like, that's the most disrespectful shit I've ever seen.
Well, wait a minute. G baby, I'm gonna add something in here, and because I said it on Twitter, and I'm only going to say this in the most respectful way I can. Let me ask you something. What if Matt Corral calls Cam Newton and Cam Newton says, "Go rock my number"?
That's a different story.
Will you argue with Cam Newton?
Cam Newton would never do that, bro.
If it
you don't know Cam Newton.
If he did.
If he did, that's my opinion. If Cam Newton is good with it, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying right there. If Cam Newton says I'm good, he's got my support, then he'll have my support.
I don't think he will, though.
That being said,
in my opinion, I think you
will
ought to wear number 4. I think you ought to wear number 4 because I think it looks cool.
I think 13.
And I don't like double-digit numbers on quarterbacks. And 7, no.
Steamin' Willie Beeman.
No.
13.
I think number 9 personally. And on that note, I got to get out of here, guys. Talk to you guys
Brad,
later.
appreciate you jumping through, man.
We gotta get Benjamin. Get that stank, that 13 stank.
He should. I think he should take 13. If you think about it, he wanted to be a round 1 quarterback, but he got taken in the 3rd round. So 1, 3. Correlation.
What if he's superstitious? What if he's superstitious and he don't want the number 13?
Well, didn't he like 9 apparently on Twitter or something like that?
Oh, I don't know. I never heard about that.
Someone said he looked good in 9. And he clicked the like.
I can't confirm this. YB Jordan said Brian Burns said he wanted 9. I mean, yeah, look, he's about the same height as Drew. Honestly, he's a little bit taller and a little bit bigger arm. Well, not
I
a
like
little bit.
13 because it's like Steamin' Willie Beeman from Any Given Sunday.
Steamin' Willie Beeman. I got the fans.
Golden Corral, 13.
Bro, that's my jam.
If I can answer this dude in the chat, yes, I like Delhomme. That's no secret. But you all got to remember, I watched football when we looked so bad it was an embarrassment to wear your Panther colors. And Jake Delhomme's attitude changed that. With the help of everybody else, but his attitude helped change that.
That was my first quarterback.
So I will always like Jake Delhomme.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, hey, shout out Jake, man.
Man, fuck Jake Delhomme. I'll never forgive him
You
for
know
the
what,
playoff
G-Baby?
performance he did against the Broncos. Bro, he threw what 4 or 5 picks against the fucking Buccaneers. I'll never forgive him for that.
Oh
my
That was in high school, bro. I was in high school when that happened.
You need to go cheer for the Saints, G-Baby.
Man, I will never forgive Jake Delhomme for that fucking playoff performance he did us, man. He did Steve Smith so dirty that game, bro.
That was John Fox.
For the football, either.
That was John Fox's fault.
We're moving on. We need to talk about. No, baby, I'm muted you. We ain't even talking about Jake Delhomme right now. Player. I don't. But like, look, man. Like, if the only way I'd be okay with number one is if Cam gave it to him, and I don't think that's gonna happen. So I don't. That's not on the agenda. But I think number 10 and number 4 are the most aesthetically pleasing. I'm not really a fan of like quarterback numbers after they get past 12, to be honest. Like, I don't know, man. I'd prefer a lower number. That's what I'd prefer.
7 was always my favorite number, but I like 13.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of different options here, man. But I mean, a lot of different suggestions in the chat too. I've seen 10. A lot of people saying 4, 9. I mean, 10's the number that I predicted on Twitter. That's the one I predicted just because no one has number 10. It's a quarterback number. It'd be a little bit different for him. I don't know, man.
So, Cody, when do they pick their numbers?
That I don't know. I don't know.
Isn't it when they sign the deal?
There's a
training camp.
There's the off-season workout start next week, I think. And somebody had mentioned to one either I think it was Darren get one of them question and answers forums about when the contracts to be signed, and the response was they have to be signed by minicamp, which is next week.
Oh, okay.
Or OTAs. I'm sure wouldn't it not be done by then?
Well, rookie minicamp is next week, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah. But speaking of numbers, did y'all catch this? Robbie Anderson asked on Twitter if he should change his number.
Yeah, so you might want to change.
The very next day, or the very same day, they announced that that Barno has signed his contract. And I looked him up just for curiosity's sake. He wore number 11 in college. Reckon Robbie gonna give his number up for a rookie?
What number would Robbie change to if he wasn't wearing 11?
That's what he was asking people. That's what he was asking people.
I like receivers wearing 80. I never liked the teens.
Yeah. So many people said number 3, but I think that was just cause Matt or not Matt DJ Moore wears 2. So
somebody put C4. So if he's number 4, then he can be MC4. I like that. Explosive. I like that, man. Hey, real quick, since we got still got a good number of people on here, I think I know G Baby's answer. But do y'all think that Matt Corral can be a franchise quarterback? Because I don't mind telling you that I can, man. Like I see the physical upside. I see the talent. I'm going to believe in this guy, man. That's where my fandom comes into play. Like, I have no reason to not believe in Matt Corral as to be a dude, So I'm hopeful for this guy. How many of you think that we got a franchise quarterback in the 3rd round?
I'm going to believe in Matt Rhule and Ben McAdoo and Matt Corral until they give me a reason not to believe in him.
Yeah.
Because that's all we got at this point. I mean, really, what else do we have? We got Sam Darnold. And who believes in Sam Darnold at this point? Nobody.
No one. No one at all.
I think
so. Yeah. I mean, we put a lot around him. He's got everything around him. Running back, receivers.
Yeah.
Offensive line.
Tight end.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Mike, do you think we got a franchise quarterback, bro?
It's tough to tell now, but the one thing I like about Corral is that, compared to the last two good quarterbacks that we've had, he's got that fire in him. You know what I'm saying?
He likes to fight.
Yeah, I don't want nobody out there. Sam Darnold, he's He's a damn baby skunk. I don't want no baby skunks out there.
You're right.
Stinking up the place.
He's a damn baby skunk.
Y'all know who our assistant head coach is? We actually have more than one. We actually have more than one.
No,
our assistant head coach is Jeff Nixon on offense and Al Holcomb on defense.
Damn, we got Al Holcomb.
Al Holcomb is our assistant head coach on defense.
Why does that name ring a bell?
We don't. If you look, I don't know who it is. Because he was a linebackers coach under Ron Rivera with Luke Kuechly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, if you look on the official website, we don't have a linebackers coach.
Really?
Right. Yeah. I didn't realize that either. But he used to coach linebackers, so I'm like Brad. I guess Brad was. I'm assuming Al Holcomb will be our linebackers coach.
Well, I went on. I just went on Google and did a search. Panthers linebacker coach, and it says Mike Staravo is the linebackers coach.
Wasn't he last year? Oh, I don't know. I'm real curious to find out. I'll have to look this up now. Just
yeah, I mean it's good to inquire about it. You know, I'm not sure, but man, I think we covered it, man. Is there anything? Yeah, we talked about Clowney. Everybody's kind of up and down on Clowney, I feel like. Again, we've got the money to spend. Matt Corral's number.
Do you think we still sign a veteran quarterback? Because they're still talking about a veteran quarterback.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm ending on that. Do you think that so I'll do this. I'll pitch two questions to everyone. Do you think the Panthers are going to get a quarterback in free agency? Should we? And who's it going to be? So I guess three questions. Kevin, go first since you were bring it up.
I think they will because they don't want Sam Darnold to be the guy he leans on for advice and everything. Yeah. I think it'll be what's his name? Fitzmagic. They bring him in to be the backup.
All right. Man, so and PJ Walker too.
I forgot about PJ, yeah.
And Sam Darnold and Matt Corral. We'd be rolling
cheap for a backup.
We would be rolling forward deep at the quarterback.
I mean, I think PJ probably gets cut.
Yeah, PJ would.
I don't know. We'll keep 3 quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they might have no choice if they don't have a guy that's ready to start. Drew, what say you, man? You think that
Eagles has got 4 quarterbacks?
Yeah, true. Drew, what say you, man? We're gonna go get someone, or I don't know. What do you think, man?
I think if we bring in another quarterback, it will be a free agent quarterback. I don't think we'll trade for anybody.
No.
So I think the whole Jimmy G, Baker Mayfield, Gardner Minshew, that's gone.
Yeah, so what about that? What about that name right there? That's the one I've been seeing pop up on Twitter the most. I've seen fans calling for it.
That's actually, unless Cam wants it, that's who I would pick. It was Nick Foles.
Yeah.
That's who I would do it.
And I mean, really, how would we feel if we got Nick Foles as our starting quarterback this season? I mean,
yeah,
I just don't. I mean,
same way I feel if we had Sam.
Yeah, that's
I would trust Nick Foles.
If that's the case, then go ahead and then run Matt Corral out there. Then, if that's the case,
Right.
if we're gonna suck that bad, then I do Matt Corral like they did Peyton Manning. Let him go out there his rookie year and let him take his lumps.
Yes.
And get
and by the way, me and Matt Rhule are of such a different mindset. Look, maybe I'm too harsh, but I'm a believer that if you get ruined, like if you get an injury, that's one thing. But if you get your ass whooped up and down the field every Sunday, your rookie season, is that not what's supposed to happen? If that ruins you. Yeah, if that ruins you,
it did.
Maybe you're not meant to be a football player. Maybe you're not cut out for this, man. It's like, dude, look at all the quarterbacks that had to start last year, and they had a rough go of it. And no one's talking about giving up on them yet. dude, I say find a way to get Matt Corral involved in this playbook this season, even if it's like on the goal line. Like
I also think they need like a veteran to be his backup. You know what I mean? Like,
What I was talking about bringing somebody in. To be bluntly honest, I'm talking more of a vet in the ear. You know, a veteran quarterback in the ear.
Yeah,
a veteran quarterback to show you what you look at basically in a film room or stuff.
Then I'd bring in a Nick Foles for something like that, but I'd have Matt Corral starting at quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I could do that. I like that idea. I don't think Sam's that guy. I just don't.
Yeah, no one does. But
I don't want Sam teaching Matt Corral anything.
Exactly.
Right.
That's why I think
If it was all my opinion, we'd already cut Sam and move on.
And by the way, I don't think we were talking about that kind of dog mentality. I don't think that Sam Darnold would even teach him, even if he could. Like Sam Darnold's trying to.
You don't know what to do either.
Exactly. What could Sam Darnold teach Matt Corral other than teach him how to see ghosts?
Yeah, right.
They just pretend it's not there.
And by the way, going back to what we were saying earlier about they want to play Brady Christensen at guard so they can be vindicated by their evaluation. I think they're going to give Sam Darnold every opportunity to increase his value and be a good quarterback this season. And then they can say, well, look, we weren't wrong. We just didn't have a good enough team around Sam Darnold to be able to cut it out for him. But I don't know. I really don't think the Panthers are going to go and get someone. I think they're going to run it with Sam Darnold and Matt Corral.
Then
and
I'm
maybe if they
Matt
have to
Corral
make a
beats
move
him out
mid-season.
in training camp.
Is that all? Is that what we're expecting at this point?
What?
Matt Corral just a.
I'm not expecting it, but I'm hoping it.
Yeah, same. But also, and that's another thing. Do we even trust that if the coaches saw Matt Corral clearly being the better quarterback, would Matt Rhule let Corral play?
It help Brady Christensen.
I think McAdoo would go to the pavement for Matt Corral.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. I believe McAdoo would go to Scott and maybe Dave Tepper, and it would happen, but you would be clearly know that Matt Rhule didn't like it.
I love this rule that Ben McAdoo has assumed in our heads as like this guy who just isn't going to take shit from Matt Rhule and is going to fight for the right thing to do for the Panthers. Like, I love it, dude. Like,
and he should, but he should. He really should, because nobody
100.
had the balls enough to do it last year. The offensive line
100%.
coach, everybody knew that Brady Christensen should have been out there at left tackle, and the offensive line coach last year didn't have the balls enough to stand up to Matt Rhule and say he needs to be out there.
Because they've never been in the NFL.
Right.
Yeah, because they were all his yes men.
Yep.
They were all his yes men. But now you have
they say
Ben
don't throw
McAdoo.
Corral out there. Why not? They threw Peyton Manning out there.
Yeah.
Let him take his lumps. He's got a good offensive line in front of him. He's got weapons. It's not like we had last year's offensive line playing in front of him.
Right.
If he's better than Sam Darnold, let him take his lumps.
Right.
I agree, man. Let the man play.
There's been quarterback. There's been other quarterbacks thrown out there. A lot of others.
Peyton Manning even said that was the best thing that ever happened to him was for them to let him go out there and take his lumps his rookie year, because he learned so much that rookie season that when he came back his second season, the game slowed down for him.
It couldn't gotten worse. I mean, he had the most interceptions in a season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still think bringing in a veteran will help him a lot, though.
It'll be interesting, man, dude. Like I said, I was happy for having McAdoo in the draft room. I'm happy for having him now going into the season. Like, it's just, I'm happy to have that dude. What a redemption arc that would turn out to be for Ben McAdoo, huh? If he goes from being the guy in New York that's kind of a joke to all of a sudden, he ends
If
up
he
like
start out slow, he might take over as head coach, and if he finishes out strong, I mean,
give him an opportunity.
I don't know if I want him as head coach. I do want him as the offensive coordinator and talent evaluation. Not sure if I want him as a head coach.
Yeah,
what's his name? Our offense coordinator one time. What's his name?
Rule was safe, I think.
Raiders.
Said. I think Rhule is safe.
Yeah, Rhule's safe. When Dave Tepper's pretty much already said Rhule's going to be here at least the next year, 2 years. So we got to deal.
I mean, Tepper also said that we're going to have a practice facility in Rock Hill. So.
Oh,
he did
You
say
still
that.
might.
He did say that.
You still might.
Yeah,
but
but
what he said is completely dead. He just said he wanted to go back to the table.
That's it.
So it's not a done
Not-
deal.
Oh, Rock Hill sort of done what they promised they'd do. Slackers.
If they had done that, then it wouldn't be a conversation. It'd be almost done by now.
Exactly.
I was wondering where Rock Hill got all this money
That's
from.
what you get counting on people from South Carolina. No offense, man.
Hey, man. Rock Hill's closer to North Carolina than South Carolina.
Shots fired, Kevin.
Still has SC at the end of it.
I was wondering where they got all that money from to get this. How they outbid everyone.
But man, we have just done 2 hours, damn near 2 hours, man. This has been the first post-draft C3 Friday free-for-all, man. We've had a damn good show. Mike Supreme literally joined us for the whole damn show. That's what's up. Man, we had the whole crew today, man. Had a fantastic show. Yeah, is there anything anybody wants to say or let the fans know before we get out of here?
Cody, that Mike Servio that we were talking about, he's on the official website, he's listed as a defensive run game coordinator.
Oh, okay.
We also have
let me
let me find it real quick. We have and Don Johnson is listed as a pass rush specialist coach.
So basically, we have a bunch of people who, in theory, might be the Panthers linebacker coach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't even classify linebacker as an important need to have a coach to coach them.
Yeah, Matt Rhule is just coaching up everyone, you know? He's just out there doing his thing, man. But Panther Nation, that is it. Is there anything anyone else wants to say to the people before we get out of here, before we jump out of here, man?
Keep pounding.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, go see Doctor Strange, man. Go see Doctor Strange. I'll be doing that this weekend. But ladies and gentlemen, that's been another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All. Make sure you come back, hit that like and subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every single time C3 goes live. To my man Kenneth, Mike, Drew, and Kevin, salute to your boys. I appreciate you joining me as always. Until next time, Panther Nation, or rather, until next Tuesday at 9 p.m., keep pounding.
Keep pounding.